Sure, and good evening, everyone. I don't know where you are, but it's raining here in Upper Manhattan, and it doesn't feel like April at all. It feels like a raw March day. But thank you for your practice and your support this evening. There's an old saying that goes, "May you live in interesting times." And I don't know if that is a curse or a blessing, but we are living in interesting times. Here in the US, it's bail reform. 19 states are putting forth legislation as to who can or cannot vote. There's a rise in gun violence, hate crimes. There's talk about what mental illness looks like, and mental illness is being equated with the homeless. Then, of course, there's the Don't Say Gay event. And then, right now, we made history. We elected a Black woman to the Supreme Court. In the world, there's Ukraine. There are the sanctions. And the impact of those sanctions on food and other resources throughout the world. Floods, droughts. Interesting times indeed. Bernie Glassman once said, "The depth of awakening or enlightenment can be seen in how one serves." He goes on to ask, how big is your awakening? Bernie goes on to use the example of Bob. He says, "What if my left hand is called Mary and my right hand is called John? They are connected to Bob, parts of Bob. John suffers a terrible gash, so what does Mary do? Well, Mary, left hand, might make a mistake. She never studied medicine, so she watches John bleed to death. What's the result? John dies, Mary dies, Bob dies. Well, what if Bob could feel that Mary and John are parts of him? Then if John suffers a gash, then Mary will do something. It might be the wrong something, but it's still something. That's all we can do to act out of compassion." I'd like to present a koan to you. It's case number 46 from the Gateless Barrier. And it reads like this. Master Sesko said, "From the top of a pole 100 feet high, how do you step forward?" An ancient master also said that one sitting at the top of a pole 100 feet high can, even if he has attained it, has not been truly enlightened. He must step forward from the top of the pole 100 feet high and manifest his whole body in the 10 directions. I'd also like to read the commentary. It goes as follows. If you can step forward and turn back, is there anything you dislike as unworthy? But even so, tell me, from the top of a pole 100 feet high, how do you step forward? People come to Zen for many reasons. I know when I came to Zen, it was for enlightenment. I remember having this discussion during Dokusan during one of the all-night sits. And the teacher and I both laughed that we both realized we came for the same reason. But enlightenment was, for me, about control. A way to kind of separate oneself, myself, from what's going on in my life and the life of the world. You can eat the right foods, you can wear the right clothes, you can speak the right words, get rid of those evil desires, and you manifest Zen. But Suzuki Roshi would say, evil desires is another name for Buddha nature. When we practice zazen, where would evil desires come from? In zazen, there is no place for evil desires. Still, we may believe that evil desires should be eliminated. Evil desires is just a name as that we use, but there's no such thing that we can separate out and throw away. Going back to the koan, standing and sitting on a pole, does that mean that one has attained enlightenment? The ancient master in the koan says, you must step forward from the pole and manifest yourself fully. Suzuki Roshi gives an example. When I'm at breakfast and my wife is ready to call me, and she calls me and I don't answer, she continues to call me. The problem is quite serious. And it's simple. It's because I don't answer. But if I say yes, there is no problem. But if I don't say yes, she continues to call. Thus we create a strong narrative, a story narrative around the lack of response. This is how we create problems. And I wonder if the problems that we experience in the world is that we don't listen to the call that's being made. There is a series of paintings called the Oxherd Pictures. There are 10 of them. They compare Zen training to ox herding. The last picture, the 10th picture, is titled Entering the City with Bliss Bestowing Hands. In that picture, you see a man, and it could be a woman, who lives with the poor and lowly, enjoying with them, sorrowing with them. She is covered with dust, and their face is soiled with sweat, manifesting compassion, manifesting delight. If it means stepping off the pole, it means stepping forward. It means getting rid of those trappings that we consider make us practitioners. But it does mean that we step off the pole daily. It's not how we dress, the foods we eat, or the dresses, the things that we wear, but it's stepping off the pole into the situation that we're called into. Talking to you tonight is me stepping off the pole. You're listening to me stepping off the pole. One of the gifts I'd like to share with you is my sense of humor, because I also think cartoons have a way of giving us an ideal teaching. And so what I'd like to do is offer you a teaching from two friends of mine called Calvin and Hobbes. They're cartoon characters. And I think Calvin and Hobbes have something to say to us tonight. Bokushu, can I screen share? So I invite you to read it. Calvin says, let's say life is this square on the sidewalk. We're born at this crack and die at that crack. Now we find ourselves somewhere inside the square in the process of walking out of it. Suddenly we realize time is fleeting. Is our quick response here pointless? Does anything we say or do in here really matter? Have we done anything important? Have we been happy? Have we made the most of these precious footsteps? And just look at the last caption. So are you ready to jump or not? Thank you.